Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Diesel engines these days, more popular than ever. They're also working harder than ever, but the fuels aren't keeping up, Jeff. So what are some of the problems fuels are having today in diesel engines like this one?
The biggest issue that we see today is there isn't detergent in diesel fuel to protect these engines. Also, the engines themselves, diesel engines, need more cetane improver to help fully combust the fuel.
For folks that may not know, what is cetane?
Cetane is a combustion improver for diesel fuel. Much like you have a octane rating for gasoline, there's a cetane rating for diesel fuel. Engine manufacturers, they want 50. The minimum requirement from a refining perspective is 40. So the more cetane that you can have in the diesel fuel, the better the fuel is going to combust at lower temperatures inside the cylinder, allowing you to burn more fuel, producing less exhaust, which in turn will help decrease the amount of regen issues that people are having because we're producing less particulate and black smoke.
So how have you folks at Power Service Products made it possible to get the most out of our diesel engines?
We've put it in a bottle. We put it in a bottle. We're actively working with retail chains so that when you pull up to the pump, you can get it right out of the pump. You know, Come and Go is a perfect example in the Midwest of where you can get diesel clean performance year round.
And it's the same product I can get in a bottle at home.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the gasoline industry has minimum additive requirements for detergent. Diesel fuel does not have a minimum requirement for detergency. The engine manufacturers want it significantly. When you're dealing with the newer, higher pressure modern diesel engine, the fuel is going to be exposed to significant heat, pressure that causes the fuel to break down over time. As it breaks down, it's going to form deposits, both on the internal portions of the injector, but also on the external. When you have those deposit buildups, you're not able to finally atomize the fuel. So in order to really provide peak efficiency and operation of your diesel engine, you really need to be running a product like Diesel Clean on a regular basis.
And if I'm not, and the engine starts to decline, what am I going to notice as a driver, as an owner?
I think the biggest thing that you're going to notice is you're not going to get the 20 miles per gallon that you got when it was new. That's one of the benefits that you get in using Diesel Clean is we're providing you with a cleanup level of detergent performance that allows you to restore all that lost fuel economy. So if you're finding on your truck that you're now at 17.5 instead of 20 or 18, we will be able to restore that fuel economy back to the like new performance.
And nobody can give you more than what the manufacturer says you're going to get out of without a major tune-up or something like that.
Correct. Besides tuning and things like that, the additives themselves are not going to give you more fuel economy than that engine is rated for.
But you'll bring it up to where it should be.
We are focused on restoring and maintaining the fuel economy that engine got when you drove it off the lot.
If I can't get Diesel Clean at the pump, I want to put it in my vehicle at home. How often do I need to do it, first of all?
Well, I had somebody tell me one time when I asked that question early in my sales career, they said, how often do you want it to work? So I recommend that you use it every time you fill up. At the least, I would say preferably on a monthly basis. Fuels are expensive today, but these trucks are $100,000 now. So it's a pretty safe insurance policy to use the product all the time to protect the engine.
This Ram has a dual flap system, which means it makes it difficult to get a product into the tank. How has Power Service Products solved that problem?
You know, that flap system and the pitch of it is difficult. So we spent 2 years developing a bottle that would penetrate both flaps, and our old design on our 16-ounce container really didn't allow me to use the product in my Dodge without the use of a funnel. So we wanted to make sure that we had a product that was easy for consumers to use, that didn't spill on the side of the truck, to make sure that the product gets in, that you're able to use all the product. As we say, pop, pour, and go.
All right, well, that's the Diesel Clean. You also brought with you clear diesel. I know these days there's a lot of biodiesels out there, and how's that affecting performance?
As it pertains to water and bacteria and fungus, biodiesels do bring a little bit more moisture into the fuel system, and the biodiesel itself can be a food source. But biodiesel in itself is a really good lubricant for the engine. So the thing that I would recommend doing is using a product like Clear Diesel on a quarterly basis to manage that water, to disperse the water so that it doesn't become a problem. If you don't have water in the fuel system, then you cannot have bacteria and fungus. And that's really the benefit that you will see of using Clear Diesel on a regular basis, in addition to the stability for long storage, whether it's combines, tractors, RVs, and boats.
Power Service Products, the only injector cleaner for diesels endorsed by Cummins, also used by Walmart Transportation for their entire fleet. It's going to be great for your vehicle as well. Go to powerservice.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so keep it right here.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. BrothersTrucks.com, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system. And by Neil Chance Converters, home of the world's fastest automatic door slammers.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. If you're doing anything recreational in a vehicle that has tires, you know that traction is king. Tyler, what's the easiest way to achieve the proper traction I need?
Oh, definitely with what we got here. Oh, we have our Morflate multi-tire inflation deflation kits. We can hook up all 4 of your tires, or just 2 tires if you want. You're going out to a drag strip for the day. Air up, air down, equalize all your tires in one. That is the name of the game in vehicular recreation.
A lot of people are looking at their screens right now going, why do I want to air down?
Absolutely. So for airing down, lots of different reasons. Off-roading is the biggest one. You know, if you air down, you get more traction to the ground. So it's the easiest, cheapest way. It's free to let air out of your tires to gain traction and make off-roading easier. It also makes the ride way more comfortable when your tires are part of your suspension.
So more comfortable, and you're getting a bigger footprint there for the tires.
Absolutely. Mud wheeling, sand wheeling. If you're going out to dunes all the time, oh, you have to air down in the sand. Snow wheeling, rocks, anything you're looking for off-road, you got to air down. Airing down at a drag strip as well. You know, you're going for that quarter mile, trying to get that 4 to 5 PSI, the sweet spot in your rear tires. Air them down, keeps both your tires at the same pressure, and you're good for your quarter mile.
Well, let's talk about that. The old way of airing down, the way most people do things, is a pain.
Absolutely. I'm 6'4", right? So if I squatted a single tire for more than 2 minutes, my knees just popped coming down here. I can't get back up, I get stuck. And so I was like, there's gotta be a better way to do this.
Well, and let's talk about the time involved too. You want to go in off-road, you want to hit the trail.
It can take upwards of a half hour, especially just sitting there. I've seen people agonizing for me to watch, have their keys and just stick their key into their valve stem, and then they just sit there for 15 minutes while they're airing down their tires with their keys. With these air chucks, we got 4 of them. So you hook up all 4 of your tires, then they're all connected into one, and then you just dump the air out of your manifold at the front of the vehicle, rear of the vehicle, wherever you set it up. And it's very simple and easy to do. So these air chucks here are push on, pull off. Super user friendly. So all you do is take your valve stem caps off, put your air chuck on, push it on, you're good to go.
I know a lot of air chucks are automatically engaged.
Yeah.
In the detent position.
Yep.
Not so. Why did you design it this way so it's disengaged when you put it on?
Because we don't want planned obsolescence, right? So with your air chucks default engaged, you know, as you go on and off your valve stems a lot, if you're going a lot of wheeling or going to the drag strip a lot, you're going to wear out the threads on your valve stems. And so you're either going to have to replace your valve stems or you have to replace your air chucks over time. With these, because the locking collar disengages when you pull it off and come to the unlock position, these 3 teeth here don't rub and wear out your valve stems over time.
All right, that's how we equalize the pressure. How do we then reduce the pressure in all 4 tires?
Great question. So we're going to come right on over here to our manifold. So all 4 tires, once they're hooked up to the vehicle and to the system, now all of it just dumps right out of here. So we can see right now, the gauge will tell you where all 4 tires are at. So we're sitting at about 31 PSI right now. We've been playing around with the tires. It was about 38, 40. And literally within about 2 minutes of airing down, we've gotten down to 31 PSI in all 4 tires. So you just dump the air out.
You don't have to go around kneeling from tire to tire.
Exactly. That's the beauty of the system. Normally, you're sitting there squatting at each tire for a really long amount of time. With this, you dump the air, go hang out with your buddies for a while.
And how does Morflate make airing up easier too?
Good question. So pretty much it's the exact thing and the opposite though, right? So you're going around to each tire, one tire at a time, holding an air chuck on your tire as the air goes from your air source into your tire. With this, you hook it onto here with just a coupler, anything, it holds on itself, have the valve open, let the air go all back into your tires. It'll evenly distribute the air between all 4 of your tires. So again, you just start the process and then sit back and hang out with your buddies.
We mentioned all 4 tires. Of course, you can do it with 2 tires.
Yep.
Left side, right side, depending on your application.
Yep. You know, overlanding is getting huge right now, so people load up the rear end of their trucks. So maybe you want to run more PSI in your rear tires than your front tires. You can absolutely do that. All of our air chucks default closed. So if you want to do that, say you want 40 in the front, 60 in the rear, air everything up to 40, pull the fronts off, and continue going up to 60 in the rear. In the entire system, the valve stem to your tire is the restriction point. That's where you're going to get a bottleneck of airflow. The valve stem can only accept about 2 CFM of airflow at a time. A lot of our compressors on the market nowadays run 5 to 6 CFM, so you're not really using the full output of your compressors ever. The current king of compressors in the market, the current standard, puts out 6.2 CFM. And our new compressor, our new Morflate 10.6, does just that, 10.6 CFM. So we're almost doubling the current standard on the market with our new compressor. And that just means we get to fully maximize the efficiency of air output, getting your tires aired up when you're done for the day. We can air up 4 38-inch tires on this Gladiator here from about 5 PSI back to 40 PSI in about 7 minutes.
It's a super time saver. It's also going to save you a lot of effort. The Morflate is an essential if you're airing up or airing down for any application. Find them at morflate.com. We'll be right back with more great products for your vehicle here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Stay tuned.
Dragonfire Tools, quality, affordable storage. Proud sponsor of our DragonfireTools.com studio.
Tell you what, I love hanging out in the Dragonfire Tools shop, looking at the workbenches, or is it toolboxes? Lou, which is it? Toolbox, workbench?
Well, it's a workbench that is your toolbox, Dave. So, you know, you're able to keep everything that you need right where you're working at.
Why do the pros like Dragonfire Tools workbenches so much?
Being able to have your tools at the ready, number one, it's going to save them time. And as you know, in the automotive industry, time is money, right? When you're billing out on a per hour basis. So when you're standing here at your workbench and you're able to just reach down, open the drawer, grab the tool that you need and get back to work, that's going to save you time and money.
And when we say something's professional grade, you have professionals using these workbenches all over the place. These are the same workbenches I can get at home, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So whether it's in your shop or whether it's in your home, I mean, they're going to be able to fulfill the needs of both. For the professional, the 14-gauge 304 stainless steel top is something that is nice in a shop environment. It's easy to clean, it's easy to maintain. You can write on it with Sharpie and wipe it right off if you need to. The material that we're using for the workbench, such as the galvanized steel drawer bodies and the fully welded frame, are qualities that you really don't see out there too much anymore.
And the pros are looking for those types of things. How strong are the drawers, for instance?
Our single rail drawers are rated at 200 pounds and our double rail drawers are rated at 400 pounds. So you're going to be able to store your heaviest tools or your tooling in them.
And I know the drawers extend all the way out instead of just part of the way. Is that the weight they support all the way out like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So being able to have the drawers extend the whole way out means that you're not going to have to reach into the back of the drawer. Like a lot of the toolboxes out there, the drawers open 75% of the way and then you're trying to reach into the back to be able to get your tools in the back of the drawer.
Whether you're a pro or you're a shade tree mechanic, DragonfireTools.com has the workbench for you. It's going to make your life a whole lot more efficient. You're going to love it. DragonfireTools.com. Enter promo code MOTORHEAD for a discount and free shipping. Every time I hear about an additive, I want to know if it's going to work, but more important perhaps, I want to know if it's going to be safe in my vehicle. Tribotex Pasha, you say is safe, how do I know?
By now we have over 40,000 cars on the road, more than 10 years of research, backing from major funding agencies. We was recently featured in NASA spin-off magazine as well as in Tech Briefs. We got Defense Innovation Award, National Innovation Award. and accolades from major research institutions.
So there's real science behind this. I mean, you're a scientist yourself. One of the things, though, that I hear from people is, will this clog my oil filter anytime you hear of a new oil additive?
Typical nanoparticle is 20 times smaller than pores in high-performance oil filters, so they're not going to stack in the oil filter.
Where do those nanoparticles specifically go to coat the engine and protect it?
Nanoparticles attach only where friction takes place, so when there is a friction, pressure, vibration, and noise, they go to work and protect the surface.
I think this is remarkable because you first used these in human bodies, the nanoparticles, when you were making hip replacements, and so that's a testament to how safe the product is. It's safe for your engine. How safe is it for the environment once you dispose of it?
Most of them end up in the engine staying on the surface. If some of them get released, they get utilized pretty much like any ceramic particles. They're safe for the environment. What comes from nature can be returned safely back there.
Well, when you're talking carefree solutions for your engine, you can stop noises, stop knock, make your engine last longer, and even bring an old engine back to life. You can check it out at tribotex.com and see how the science works. We are just getting started here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. So much more to come. Stay tuned.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Superior products, professional auto detailing supplies, and car wash chemicals. Inline Tube, the professional restorer's #1 choice. Dragonfire Tools, quality affordable storage. And by Valvomax, your one-stop for fluid changes. Time now for the lowdown with Magic Creeper.
Hey there, Motorheads. We have told you about the Magic Creeper, and we've extolled its virtues throughout the season. If you're a professional racer, I'm going to get to you. Of course, you know, at home, there's tons of uses for the Magic Creeper. You can get under the sink in a jiff and do it a lot easier than you would otherwise. You can use it as a kneeling pad if you're gardening, if you're doing hardwood floors. And of course, if you work on your car in your garage, you can use the Magic Creeper to get underneath. And if you're working out in the yard, it's especially handy because the Magic Creeper moves over rocks and roots and things a regular creeper would not do. If you are a professional mechanic, the Magic Creeper comes in handy because you can triage cars and other vehicles out in the parking lot to see what the problem is, and if you want to bring it in right away. If you're out of lift space too, you can use the Magic Creeper, and it certainly comes in handy and helps out your back, makes it easier for you to get under the vehicle. If you are a racer, you're going to love the Magic Creeper. Take it with you to the pits because invariably, if you're racing a bracket car like this, you know that the pros are pitted somewhere in the nice paved area. They're living in the lap of luxury, and you are relegated to a grass area probably. If you're lucky enough to have a snap-together floor, that's great, but you can still use the Creeper to get under your race car. And in most cases, you know, you'll be in the grass someplace. It can rain, so you might be in kind of a marshy area. You can use the Magic Creeper because it gets wet and it gets muddy, and you will not. Plus, you get the extra ground clearance you wouldn't get from a regular Creeper, but you know, who cares? A regular Creeper wouldn't work there anyway. If you are in the grass, of course, if you're in Seattle or someplace like that, you know you're in the forest and there's lots of tree roots everywhere. Sometimes you're even in the gravel. Well, that's nice because it's not muddy, but it's still hard to maneuver a regular Creeper around, so the Magic Creeper is for you. So whether you are a homeowner, an amateur mechanic, a pro mechanic, or a racer, check out the Magic Creeper. You are going to want the authentic Magic Creeper. You can check it out at magiccreeper.com. Here at NHOU, Joe, you've got two signature products. Tell me what the difference is and how they work under my car.
So basically, same product. This one, which is our Back in Black, has a carbon tint. We had a lot of customers come in and said, hey Joe, this looks great, but gee, I know I'm getting the protection, but if you could improve the appearance while protecting the surface, boom, Back in Black. So the two will give you the same protection, and one will substantially improve the appearance of that surface.
Now we know people are very crafty, And you've got to believe that people have come up with other ways to use this stuff. Where are some other applications for this that you've learned?
Well, so it is engineered for that application, but honestly, any metal surface would be pretty close to that application. And we've found people that are having very good results using this in HVAC systems, not only on the metal surfaces, but the wires, because it's non-conductive. It is actually going to stop corrosion on the wires, and it helps a little bit with mice as well. We find it on boat trailers. They'll do the rear end of the vehicle, especially, that's always going into the water. It is a great agricultural use on farm equipment. It helps hay equipment, different types of lawnmowers or brush hogs.
And you touched on it, mice have been a problem, and you've developed a new product specifically to address that.
Yes, so that was from one of our great customers who came in and said, hey, listen, this is a big problem. One of the ways I solved it was with a menthol. I know that that is a deterrent, so what we did was we added menthol to our clear oil, and we also know that the oil is a deterrent, because in my shop, when we spray vehicles, these mice, if they're in there, they're gone. And everyone had mice in our complex except us, and it was because they did not want to step on this oil. Well, you combine that with the smell, and we've added one thing else additional, which makes it smell like a cat urine, which is predatory. It's a very effective way to keep rodents out.
Well, you can keep the mice away, you can keep the rust away, and you can find out how at NHOilUndercoating.com. Well, thanks for coming along for the ride with us here on Motorhead Garage. We hope you do it again next week as well. In the meantime, if you have something you'd like to see featured on the show, a product you want the world to see, email Jeff at masterstv.com. We'll get you here in the studio. From our entire crew here at Motorhead Garage, we will see you next time. So long.